Hi everyone, and welcome to Shlime Reviews. I'm Shlime, and in this video, I will be reviewing dope slimes. But first, if you're new to my channel, I want to again say welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoy this content. And now for our Shlime fam shoutouts. There are two of you, Rika and Tater Tot. Thank you so much for all your support, and if you'd like a shout out like this, comment down below #ShlimeFam. And with that, let's get into this review. This package got here in 6 days, and this is my first time trying out this shop. I paid $62.49 with shipping and a 10% off code from Instagram for 5 5-ounce slimes and 1 free random mystery 5-ounce slime that was included when I spent over $39. There was also an extra fee of 98 cents for Insurify, which is sort of like an insurance for lost or broken slimes or whatever you purchase. One thing I just want to make aware if you're not is that this shop does touch their batches of slime with bare hands. I know some folks don't mind that, but if you do, that is something to keep in mind with dope slimes, as that's not exactly a practice that I agree with, but this was a very highly requested review and I want to try every shop at least once. This was from their Halloween drop, but I did pick slimes that weren't exactly Halloween-y. The next review I do will be a Christmas review, but it'll be a little bit after Christmas, so I do apologize for that. This shop does have a ton of slimes to pick from, and you can even customize your own slime if you'd like. I do enjoy that this shop has their own custom labeled box, as it is a very professional touch and it just is a good first impression. When I opened the box, there was a baggie with some borax, a business card / care sheet, and 1 Sour Patch candy. There was also a sheet of bubble wrap, and the slimes were actually placed in these cardboard dividers, which was a first for me, but they did all arrive safely. Unfortunately, this order was incorrect, so I had ordered a Midnight Galaxy, but they did give me 2 Midnight Galaxies instead of a slime that I had ordered called Monster Mash. If you go on the shop's website, you can request either store credit or for them to send the slime, but I had misread that and I thought I was going to get a full refund, so that was my fault. But I did find that a automated system like that was a little bit faulty, because although I did make a mistake, I wish I was just speaking to a human that could have corrected what I had done. After I did realize my mistake, I emailed the shop and I never heard back from them when I said I did want to just receive Monster Mash and not store credit. So I did get a $15 store credit, which was more than the slime was that I had paid for, but I was a little bit disappointed in their customer service because I never heard back from an email that I had sent. I also just want to share that the labels are not slime proof, so just be careful of getting slime on the labeling or else it will affect the design. So the 5 slimes that I do have are Midnight Galaxy, StarFrost, Strawberry Milk, BooterCream frosting, and the free slime that they had included, which is in a 5-ounce size container. I was very curious to try out this shop for the first time. Also, as a reminder, I saved the ASMR till the end of the video, but feel free to use the chapters to skip around as you'd like. And with that, let's open these slimes. The first slime we're going to look at is the free 5-ounce slime that was included with my order. This was from a promotion of when you spend over $39, this was included, and I didn't know what sort of slime I was going to get because it was listed as a mystery. When I started to poke and play with the slime, I could tell it was going to be an inflatable clay slime. This was a beautiful white color, and the scent was very light and sweet. I almost want to say it was kind of like a marshmallow scent. I did enjoy it. When I first touched the slime, I could feel a sort of damp, slippery feeling, and that could happen sometimes with the clay used. And it does go away the more I played with the slime. This was very creamy and soft, but unfortunately, not long after I started playing with this slime, I started to see a good amount of debris. They were mostly little tiny bits of debris, but I did find a decent sized black speck, and I also found a yellow speck, and it seemed a bit unsanitary. The texture was spreadable, and it was very easy to stretch and was inflatable. And once inflated, it gives a lot of sizzles, and it's also easy to deflate, so you won't need a spare container for afterward. This also became a bit tacky when it was inflated, and I would put activator on my hands and it seemed to help quite a bit with it not sticking. It was very kind of the shop to include this free 5-ounce slime, but this really was the most debris I've ever had in a slime so far, and it really threw off my experience with it. But it is very airy when it's fluffed up, and overall it's aging very well. It still has that sort of slippery, wet feeling at first when you go to touch it when it sits for a while, but again, it does go away when you play with it. I didn't reach out to the shop about the debris because, for one, this was a free slime, and because they never responded to my original email regarding the mistake they had made with my order, I didn't honestly think they were going to respond to another email, and I could have reached out more, but I just didn't. So it is difficult to say why there is debris, because again, they don't wear gloves when they play with big batches of slime, but also this could have happened from contaminated clay, so it's a mystery and just something to keep in mind with this shop's clay slimes. So for the free slime, unfortunately, again, because this had the most debris I had ever seen in a slime, I'm gonna have to fault this quite a bit, but I did enjoy how soft and spreadable and inflatable and sizzly it was, but I am gonna give this slime a 3 out of 10 Shlime. The next slime we're gonna look at is Midnight Galaxy. I paid $10.99 for a 5-ounce size, although in this review it'll be more of a 10-ounce size because I'm just going to mix both of these slimes together. This is a pigmented clear slime with black holographic fine and large glitters. It's listed to have a blue to purple shift in color, which creates a galaxy effect. It's also topped with a haunted house charm, and it is also unscented to preserve its clarity. The theme of this slime, I would say, is the midnight sky during Halloween time. This is just a guess. The haunted house charm is very cute as well, although it is already placed into the slime when it arrived. This definitely has a beautiful pigmented color shift. It's just so cool and gorgeous. It really does shift between blue to purple. And this also wasn't sticky when it arrived. This is truly unscented as well, as I smelt nothing from it. And again, the charm of the haunted house was definitely obvious in the slime, but it was a little bit difficult to remove, as bits of slime wanted to keep sticking to it. But it wasn't a huge problem, just something to note, as the charm is very spooky and adorable. This is a very thick clear slime with a pretty good stretch to it. The clear slime seemed to be colored as a black, which had the blue to purple pigment just really bounce off, adding to the galaxy aesthetic. Because there are a lot of glitters and pigment in this slime, you will probably have some of the glitter stuck to either the playing surface that you are using or on your hands, and that is very common with slimes that have a bunch of glitter or pigment in them. And it's just something to keep in mind, that it's always good to wash your hands after playing. The finger pokes were great though, and there were some very loud pops from this texture. The more this is inflated, it becomes a silver color, and it does become a little tacky when it's inflated, which is very common with clear slimes. This is also just so squishy, and the chunky glitters seriously stand out on the silver color. It is just beautiful. I love it. This texture does tear if you stretch it too quickly, especially when it is inflated, because it is a very thick clear slime. And when it is fluffed up, it is so clicky, with still those loud pops and amazing finger pokes. You will need a spare container afterward for the extra slime. And overall, this slime is aging pretty typical to most clear slimes. After sitting for a couple weeks, it wasn't melted down yet, but it was a tiny bit sticky, as most clear slimes do melt down faster than other textures. But overall, I do recommend this slime to someone who does enjoy a beautiful pigmented clear slime. But if you are a beginner to slime, you might want to stay away from clear slime because it can be a little tricky to work with. So for Midnight Galaxy, that is a beautiful 10 out of 10 Shlime. The next slime we're going to look at is Strawberry Milk. I paid $10.49 for a 5-ounce size. And this was listed as being an ultra thick and glossy texture that changes colors. It's stated that when the slime is sitting, it becomes an ombre color and changes to a super light pink to a neon pink. and that it's always capable of changing color if you allow it to sit for a little bit. And this is also scented as strawberry milk. The theme is of course based around strawberry milk, and I thought the labeling was just very cute. The pink color was very beautiful. When I first opened the container, it looked like a light pink, and I am sad to say that I was able to see tiny bits of debris on top of the slime. Nothing large like a big thing of hair or a big foreign speck, but there were little tiny bits of debris for sure on top. And as I went to poke the slime, I could tell it was thick, but almost to the point where it felt a little bit over-activated. It was definitely so glossy though, which I found to just be so beautiful. And when I pulled it out of the container, I could see these two different shades of pink, a very light pink, and then a shade a little bit darker than that. So I thought that was really cool. And this does give awesome finger pokes. But unfortunately, as I went to try to stretch this slime, I found that to be very difficult as it really didn't want to stretch much at all. So I would say at that point that this is a bit over-activated, which I understand during the summertime, but it is colder out right now, and I don't really understand why it would arrive like that. I also let this slime sit for a full day before playing with it because I do know it can get a bit chilly when it's being shipped during the colder season. But unfortunately, I did find this difficult to fluff. Although I won't lie, the scent is amazing on this slime. It really smells just like the strawberry milk I had growing up as a kid. And through effort, I could make this slime fluff up a little bit, but it was a strain on my joints, and this texture can make some very loud bubble pops because of how activated it is. This would tear at times too when I was trying to stretch it, but I was very happy to see that small color change. Honestly, I didn't see a neon pink, but I did see the two other shades of pink, and I thought that was really cool. And as I played with the slime, it just stayed that classic light pink color you would see in a strawberry milk. And the scent is just seriously so good. I can't stop saying that. And after having this slime sit around for about a couple weeks, it did melt down a good amount to the point where I was able to play with it more. But unfortunately, I didn't film it being of a better texture. I do film the slimes as they arrive the first time, but if you do allow an overactivated slime to sit for a while, it can usually turn into a very playable and enjoyable slime still. It was a lot easier to stretch, and it was able to inflate, meaning that it would need an extra container for afterward for the extra slime. Although while filming for this, it didn't need an extra container because I could barely make it inflate at all. But when I'm able to play with this slime properly, it became very clicky and stretchy and amazing. Although as I played with the slime, I did keep finding little bits of debris, which was disappointing. I also want to note that although the slime did age better in the sense where it melted down, I never saw that color change happen again with this texture. It has remained as this light pink color that you see here, which was a little bit disappointing as well because they did list it as something that could constantly change colors if you allowed it to sit long enough. Honestly, this would have been one of my top favorite slimes from this package, but with the big lack of stretch when it first arrived and this little bit of debris I keep finding in this texture, it sadly is just not a top favorite, but it was very close in my opinion. And I do recommend a slime like this, but just be aware that it could arrive overactivated, but it does melt down kind of quickly, and it is very enjoyable once it does. It's not tacky with inflation once you can get it to inflate. And overall, I did enjoy this. I just had some problems. So for strawberry milk, because there was a big lack of stretch with the texture when it first arrived and I kept finding little bits of debris, I do have to fault this slime quite a bit. So I am gonna give this slime a 5 out of 10 Shlime. The next slime we're gonna look at is BooterCream Frosting. I paid $10.49 for a 5-ounce size, and this was listed as being an ultra soft and light, creamy, buttery slime, scented as frosting. It also stated that it's going to be topped with cute Halloween sprinkles, and that this is very inflatable. And when I opened the container, I loved the bright orange color that this clay slime was, But unfortunately, I did see a good amount of little specks of debris on top. But again, the color is just so beautiful, but the debris is always something to point out, as honestly at this point, it just seemed a bit common with this shop. And I really wish I reached out to them about this specific issue I had, but regardless, when I first went to touch this slime, it reminded me of the free clay slime that I had with this order, as it was a little bit wet and slippery at first, which again, I believe it's from the type of clay that they use, but it does go away as I played with this texture. This was very spreadable, and I enjoy the scent as it's very light, and it is just such a sweet frosting blend. This was very easy to stretch, and this does become very inflatable as well, and when inflated it gives a lot of amazing sizzles. The finger pokes are very minimal on textures like this, but when inflated you can get some awesome finger pokes, which I love. This also created some light bubble pops, and unlike the white free clay slime, when this slime inflated, it wasn't tacky at all, which was very surprising and lovely. Honestly, this slime would have been one of my top favorites as well, but because there was that debris on top, I just can't say it's a top favorite because it doesn't match the standards I believe a slime shop should have when creating their slimes. This slime is also very easy to deflate, so you won't need an extra container for afterward. And overall, this was just so soft and airy when it is fluffed up. I really enjoyed it, and it's aging just so perfectly. I haven't needed to activate it at all yet. I do recommend a slime like this if you are aware of the little bits of debris that could be on top, and especially if you enjoy inflatable clay slimes, because this was a very awesome inflatable clay slime. The sizzles were just fantastic. So for BooterCream frosting, unfortunately I do have to fault this slime because of the debris, and I do take off a good amount of points when there's debris because it's something that I, again, just don't find to be hygienic. So I am going to give this slime a 6 out of 10 Shlime. The last slime we're going to look at in this review is StarFrost. I paid $10.49 for a 5-ounce size, and this was listed as being an Icee texture that is super soft and sizzly, along with airy. It also stated that it is topped with iridescent glitter and blue StarFimo slices. It stated that this is a soft and inflatable slime that becomes very airy and light, and it is scented as blue raspberry slushie. I do believe the theme to be around winter frost, and I thought the labeling was very cute with the icicles. When I opened the slime, it was just a beautiful blue color, and it had a good amount of iridescent glitter on top along with the StarFimo slices. I thought the aesthetic was just so beautiful, and luckily I did not see any debris in this slime. When I went to poke this, it is a wet Icee texture, but it's not super wet, and I could hear some very light sizzles as I went to poke it. I just really love the color, and the scent is delicious. It's spot on with being a blue raspberry slushie. It made my mouth water. It was just amazing. It was probably one of my favorite scents in this order. This slime is overall easy to stretch. It had a tiny bit of resistance and would rip if I stretched it too quickly, but the stretch actually gets easier once this sits around for about a week or so. And as the slime is fluffed up, the sizzles seem to go away. This was a very unique Icee texture that I've never had before. It almost seemed like a borderline cloud slime to me because it was pretty drizzly, and although it did have sizzles, they were very quiet for the most part. This texture kind of inflates, but it very easily deflates as well. So you won't need an extra container for any extra slime afterward. This also gives very light pops and finger pokes, but overall the ASMR is very quiet for this. There is a very slight sticky residue that's left on your hands after playing, but that can be very normal with wet Icee textures. And as long as there's not a bunch of debris left in the container that it was sitting in, I don't really see that as a problem, as again, it is very common with wet Icees, and is just another reason to wash your hands after playing. This slime really is aging well for sitting for a couple weeks. It's not sticky or stiff, and as I stated before, the stretch got a lot easier. This is just a very unique Icee texture that I did enjoy a lot, although if I want to be picky, I just wish it was a bit more sizzly and inflatable. But I do recommend this slime if you enjoy icy textures, and if you're a beginner, this is also a very easy slime to manage as it's not tacky or sticky, but there's just a tiny bit of slime left on your hands afterward, so you again just need to wash your hands after playing. So for StarFrost, that is a beautiful 10 out of 10 slime. thank you so much for watching my video. And check out more of Dope Slimes. I will have a link down below to their Instagram and shop. Overall, I enjoyed a tiny bit of their textures, but I won't lie, I wasn't 100% impressed with this shop for it being as big as it is, and it was a very highly requested shop, so I thought maybe their quality would be a bit better. I was just overall disappointed in that, and the mistake with my order, and the fact that they never responded to my email. I didn't have any top favorite slimes to pick from this order, so I just wasn't very impressed, but there's a chance I might try the shop out again one day. I'm unsure as of now. Also, if you're curious, I'm on Instagram too, and TikTok, so follow me if you'd like to see Shlime and just Shlime. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.